Welcome back to Game 3 as 100 Thieves and Cloud9 Academy are loading back onto the Rift. And where do we start, honestly, with this series? We're tied at 1-1, a very long second game there where Cloud9 were able to take the next. I suppose we start in the Cloud9 jungle camp. It is Blabber on that Kindred, 10-ish marks from last count, just going off.
Yeah, he popped off. Don't let that KDA fool you. He had a really powerful performance. Ended that game, really, with the end game engage from the Kindred, really honestly showing us a lot about the ways that you can play this champion, not just offensively, but offensively as well. The Kindred ultimate was such a nightmare that I'm expecting to see a lot more of this pick as the series goes on. He's been known for having these really odd pocket picks that nobody else plays, like the Talia and the Kindred, that do so much to win certain games that they might just receive bans as the game goes on.
And again, his usual partner in crime in Golden Glue was still making work happen on the Corki as well. It was a cool composition with the 3 marksmen between the Kindred, Corki, and the Ezreal, but this man did an awful lot of damage.
Yeah, over 1,000 there. The Corki was super powerful this game, even though a lot of the kills didn't end up happening in the laning phase as we transitioned to play the game. When you're running Kindred that has the ultimate that keeps everybody at a really low HP, a champion like Corki really gets to shine, having that Trinity Forest proc and the burst from your spells to really capitalize once everybody is out of that invulnerable state. And I'm expecting to see a lot of action from him in the mid lane, because that's 2 games in a row where the Kiana popped off, the Corki popped off, and the Kiana was actually banned in game 2.
But not like 100 Thieves didn't have their own stars. Someday continued to apply pressure there in top lane, putting up good numbers on the Renekton, but it did feel like this game was really lost in the mid game. The Thieves kind of lost their foothold when C9 started fighting them, and from that gold lead, they were able to slowly but surely kind of build enough of a gold buffer that even though the game took longer than they might have liked, thanks to this man's theatrics in a lot of ways, enough to overcome at the end.
And you're thinking of the play in mid lane. We saw the play in top where he juked out a few key spells that bought enough time for Soligo to actually catch up and get some return kills. So he is just having a stellar performance, but it's hard to really spotlight him because he typically always does have a stellar performance. That's really just what we've come to expect out of Someday. But a thing that's really interesting is that he's had 2 games of Renekton, and Cloud9 is more than happy to have him on that pick as opposed to putting him on a champion like Aatrox that I really don't think they're going to ever let him have.
Yeah, I mean, Kumo has played 2 different champions, looked just fine in his 1v1s, and there hasn't been any real amount of jungle attention there, at least in the very early stages, although I guess Blabber, did level 2 gank unsuccessfully, thanks to Someday's smooth moves.
You know, something interesting that we have not had in any other series is that Red side so far has 100% win.
Also no Tristana is the other thing I've noticed. That was a big feature for the Golden Guardians yesterday when they took down TSM Academy. So we'll see how the rest of the series plays out, but Elise and Azir continuing to be pretty mainstay bans here for Cloud9 Academy, as Aatrox, Xayah, and Yuumi will be banned by 100 Thieves.
This could just be another Sejuani game from C9, would make a lot of sense.
No.
Not allowed. No more Sejuani.
It is impressive if you can draw Sejuani bans but confidently play against Sejuani. They gave it over to Ander in the last game. Well, we'll see what Cloud9 Academy wants to prioritize here. Back on blue, they picked Akali in game 1 in this position. And they'll pick Akali again.
I think the Ezreal and the Braum are pretty high priority here for 100 Thieves. The Cloud9 roster denied it altogether in game 2. But 100 Thieves found the win with it in game 1. So this is a bottom lane that has not been broken apart, that has found a lot of wins, and the Ezreal will be locked up. We'll see if this pick continues to find wins, and if it does, it's going to start rising up in priority and maybe even getting some bans, because it seems like answers are not something that Ezreal cares about.
Well, it's actually an identical draft to game 1 right now, so we'll see if C9 Academy have any differences they want to make in their strategy. They do lock in the Sivir, which was the response from Prismal last game. But I think we have to think about the Braum now. Is it worth taking here if you're Cloud9 Academy?
It's powerful for both teams. You are in a really tricky position, though, if you were to take away Braum with the Sivir, as you can put yourself in a position to get poked out with Ezreal and potentially a Karma that is still available to be played. And Rakan, that was the game 1 pick for Diamond. It's also going to be the game 3.
Different AD. but still here on the Rakan, feeling confident. Again, Ezreal, very tricky champion to really lock down, but wanting to opt for something with maybe a bit more lane power than, say, Nautilus, who really doesn't do anything other than get hit.
This seems like an easy Braum for 100 Thieves.
Or
Oh, wow.
here for Someday. Okay, I mean, clearly, again, putting stock in Someday's ability on the champion. Tipping their hand a little bit, although this, of course, can still be jungle Sylas.
Yeah.
But Corki going to be banned here by 100 Thieves. Again, expecting Kumo to pilot the Akali in top lane with a coach like Westrice. Let's see how that can happen.
Now I see it. Now I see the priority in the Akali.
They've been trained well.
I learned Akali from Westrice. At one point, he was the Akali, right? There was nobody else that was nearly as good as he was.
I feel like that's a pretty common story for old school players. There's Nico, though, banned away. Nice to see that Westrice is also a successful coach in Academy. He's been with the team for a while now.
All right, now 100 Thieves, they saved the jungle for last pick on game 1, where they used that to get Olaf against a Sejuani matchup. Sorry, it wasn't Sejuani, it was Gragas.
It was Gragas.
But they'll do the same thing here, most likely, as you see the bottom lane already for C9 Academy. Sivir's not going to be flexed to mid. So I think Braum again, right? Like, it worked so well. It has a 100% win rate so far. I think that the shield was a huge factor in the win for 100 Thieves, and I just can't see passing up something that worked so well against a very similar bottom lane.
Actually deciding that they want the jungle deny here with Olaf banned away.
Missed that one.
Whoops. Take the Jarvan. I mean, they can also likely get the Braum anyway. The likelihood that Cloud9 Academy take it is extremely low. I would say, like,
I was thinking that Jarvan would have been banned, but instead Olaf is what's targeted.
Ooh, Skarner maybe the switch up though here. Can't Braum that one.
So I guess you don't care about Jarvan if you're going to have Skarner, because you want more targets to pick off. Jarvan, even if he gets tanky, you still can one-shot him, whereas Olaf is another target that you just can't go for. Similar to the Gragas, these beefy targets that you don't necessarily want to punt into your team diminish your playmaking capabilities.
10 seconds for Cloud9 Academy to finish off the draft. It is Poppy that will be the selection here, so that means Akali likely into mid lane. I imagine Saligo is probably comfy with the Sylas in that 1v1. But what is the final pick here for 100 Thieves?
Such a different draft, and Morgana would actually be filthy against the Cloud9 team, but you would lose lane. You probably wouldn't have a pretty easy time there. You'd just be amazing at stopping everything, and yeah, we will see the Braum that has been successful in the first 2 games.
Yep, very solid comp here for 100. In fact, it's exactly the same as their game 1 comp with the jungle change. That's the only difference from memory between the 2 comps. And Cloud9 looking somewhat similar as well with the Akali and Rakan from game 1, but definitely I think a more straightforward jungler from Labby.
And way tankier too.
Yeah.
You got Poppy and Skarner that actually can stand in the front line for quite some time, but I really want to see what Saliga does here this game, because you have some nutty ultimates to steal. Poppy ultimate is a really powerful one to knock teammates away. And you also have Rakan, that is the classic Sylas ultimate. As he already dashes in, you might as well have the ability to attract opponents to you like a charm.
No bad ultis for Sylas to steal, I think, in this game. So see if Saligo can turn in another solid Sylas performance.
So actually, I did hear that the Skarner ultimate is not a good one for Sylas to steal. The reason being, Skarner, when he ults, you want to be having a lot of movement speed to be able to draw them back a significant amount, but Sylas has no movement speed abilities like that. So when you steal the Skarner ultimate, you're not dealing damage yourself, and Skarner doesn't care because he's not a damage dealer, but Sylas does. So you sacrifice some of your damage, and you can't really move far away as well to really punish the positioning. So it's not as cool as you would think because of how much Sylas misses and because of him not having these skills that make Skarner's ultimate so powerful.
All right, well, we'll see how this all shakes out. Can Sylas use his ability still if he steals Impale? I can't remember if Skarner gets fucked. He doesn't, right?
You can't. You can only use your Q as Skarner during Impale.
Oh, okay.
But you're not gonna. I mean, you can use your W. You just you're not really autoing, right? You're just he's impaled. He's.
I mean, if you could like steal them and then dash away, that would be hilarious.
Yeah, right. That's what you would want. But unfortunately, we have a solid balance team that doesn't let.
Can you imagine? Like he chains away to the Raptors, he's just like over a wall. It's a horrible experience. Yeah, I mean, Silas doesn't need extra power, I suppose. So that seems reasonable. I'm fine with it.
We saw what that patch looked like. We don't need to go there again.
You clearly didn't play very much Silas. I played way too much Silas.
I didn't get to touch him.
It was fun. Depending on your definition of fun, he was very fun to play. All right, team's going to line up for game number 3, a critical point in this best-of-5 crumbs.
Match point.
Yep,
the winner.
Being the first to match point, always important. Felt like this series has potential to really break open in momentum, given how strong 100 Thieves have seemed mentally, enduring already a very long series. I think Cloud9 Academy, they're always in for a long series. Like, yes, despite their domination, this is a team that is fine going the distance in long sets, but if this game goes like horribly wrong for either side, you wonder how fast game 4 will be.
I don't want to think that it's going to go horribly wrong for anybody, although a loss does count as horribly wrong, in my opinion. So somebody will have to suffer through that one, unfortunately. But we do have a little bit more standard for both these teams. The first time that we see Cloud9 in the series going to take this approach to their draft. And I want to see how it meets head-to-head against 100 Thieves here, because they're really sticking to what worked for them in game 1, which presumably Cloud9 knew this was coming, not banning away many of the champions that were played before. So this is what they have decided would work against what they lost to in game 1.
I like the adjustments as well, just in draft, playing more frontline. Looks like there is a pause, as you've probably figured out at this point. Looks like Anda maybe has something.
Oh, I know what they're doing. I know what they're doing. He's having the whole look at my hand kind of, look at what's underneath here.
Well, important to maintain spirits in pauses crumbs.
Oh, it's huge, huge deal. Keep a positive mood, positive mental attitude.
Now, Poppy has been slightly changed at this point. Is that right?
She grounds
you.
She
okay.
grounds you, so she's your legal guardian.
Yeah.
Has the ability to ground you.
And Renekton, of course, I mean, in general, any aggressive dash champion, Poppy can be pretty good against a lot of those all-in style top laners.
You actually do ground 4 members of 100 Thieves. Renekton, Jarvan, Silas, and even Braum.
Oh, do you not ground Ezreal because it's a blink?
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
It's like casting, right? You can't ground.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that makes sense. But that would have been like a true trump card, I feel like, to this Ezreal. But then we probably would have seen it in game 1.
that would really just suck for Ezreal players if Poppy could do that to you. And he's like, well, I'm supposed to be able to get away from things.
All right, well, while we wait for the pause, Cloud9 relax. We are going to throw it down to Rivington, who's standing by with Cloud9 Academy's coach, Wes Rice.
I was confused.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I am standing by with Coach West Rice. Game 1, a bit more difficult than I think the team would have expected. Yeah. What was the chatter between game 1 and 2 to make sure game 2 was that victory result?
Well, the second draft was way easier to play out than the first one. Like the first one is like we have like just team fight, team comp. You know, they generally work better in scrims. But you know, here we are on stage. People are like kind of holding back, making a play, and like it was definitely evident right there. So so coming to the second game, we made the draft a little bit easier, but yeah, it happens.
Right on. And knowing C9 had the bye week, what was kind of the focus coming in, knowing that being the former champion, you had a chance to take that World Academy belt once again?
Pretty much, we're just a lot of scrimming, actually. That's all we're doing, scrimming. Yeah, we're just hanging out, just spending most of the time together, and you know, just making the best out of the bye.
It seems to be working out. Everybody's got a smile on their face. The win did just come in, so best of luck in the rest of the games, and thank you so much for the insight. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Riv. As a quick update, Anda's computer does require a restart, so we'll be here for a couple of minutes. 1 or 2, shouldn't be too much longer until we're into the game. I did like how excited Cloud9 Academy were to play the game as it loaded in. Like, oh, nope, still pause. Still loaded in.
I was surprised to hear West Rice. I mean, he's got some very high standards for composition.
Yeah.
Because I think we both were in agreement that the game 1 composition was really hard to execute, and game 2 was a little bit easier. but still not the easiest. Like, that was not something that most teams can pull off. Triple marksman, it really is something that is specific to this squad, having 3 very competent players in each of those roles. Definitely on the Ezreal, pretty much iconic for him. Blabber on the Kindred, same thing. And Corki for Golden Glue. I mean, he's been rocking Corki Nazir for as far as we can remember and doing a pretty good job at it too. So it is easier as a comp, but easier because it is Cloud9.
I also like that he said, you know, people kind of holding back on making plays in game 1, where I only saw them make plays.
It's the
for
scrim
most of the
ring.
time they're on screen.
That's what happened with Sprint, with NA Rengar, with NA Jace, with NA Pyke. It's the same situation every time, that you practice the champion, and in the scrim you get so many kills. You're like, oh, this is amazing, right? I have the greatest champion of all time. And then you realize, well, in a real match, you're not going to get those kills, so you're not going to snowball, and you have to think about, how do you play this champion at a 0-0 scoreline? And you realize you have no idea because you've never done it.
Well, we'll wait patiently here for the game to begin. With any luck, it's not too much longer. Someday, not a good time to get sleepy.
He's not the only one. I see everybody yawning in here. It's contagious, literally,
That is true.
which is such a bizarre thing. Why has nobody looked that up yet?
Is it important?
Investigate why yawns are contagious.
It's actually interesting how little we know about sleep. in
Everything?
general. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, everything.
Like, we don't know who's going to win this next game.
Ooh. Yeah, I don't know. Even based on draft, it's hard to say. I wonder, because we saw this in the... oh, goodness, what series was it? Actually, we kind of saw this yesterday, where when you start to take hold of a game, as a team builds momentum, the games kind of get shorter and shorter. I was thinking of TLA as the example of this, where game 1, kind of back and forth, a little long, and by the 3rd game, it was like 25 minutes and the game's over, right? Different because it's not a sweep, right? I think once you win a game, it's easier to keep yourself into it and be like, okay, we've won already. We can certainly win 1 or 2 more games.
I do think part of it is that these two teams are mentally in a very different state than what TLA was. Both of these guys have so much confidence knowing that they can come out on top here and earn their spot in the World Academy Finals. Love saying that.
I think also like quite a lot of experience between these two teams. Like 100 Thieves were a bunch of rookies last year around stunt. Now they have Sunday and they have, you know, a whole split or year's worth of experience to play off of. Another invade here. Always love seeing a 4-man with the Braum at level 1. Someday though, the remaining guard here in the red side of the jungle, and it does seem like we're down to set some vision in and perhaps start on the enemy red buff this time.
They'll look back and tell their kids, I played with Someday.
He was good. All right, Spire take here. Oh, not yet. It's not ready. It's par baked. All right, it's almost there.
Minions have spawned.
Let's see if an invade. Nope, no invades anywhere.
Just some vision, so both teams will have good information about where the enemy jungler is or isn't. In fact, they're both walking to the places where the vision is, just to take some of the guesswork out. A sweeper here from Ander is going to get that ward done. And Prismal and Stunt trying to be annoying. Not really going to stop this. Definitely in Diamond or Leash, just to make extra sure and give Blabber a head start in the jungle. But red for both junglers, probably not going to cause too many unconventional things to happen with the early jungle part.
This is a pick that I don't think I've ever seen Blabber actually play, the Skarner, where it's a lot more focus around farming, a lot more focus around level 6, and really doesn't let him individually make kill plays. You really can't kill anybody on your own when you're running Skarner, let alone with Predator. You might be able to be a more skirmish heavy when you run Conqueror on him, but you do sacrifice that big engage potential out of him. So I'm really curious to see what he does, because he's looking to go for a counter jungle here against Anda. Yeah, all right. Counter jungle Skarner.
Ander's like, wait a second, get out of here.
There's a Scorpion in my jungle.
Oh, Feligo with a stun there onto Golden Glue, but Golden Glue already had pressure, which I think emboldened Blabber for that foray into enemy territory, but he's kicked out instantly as even Prismal and Stunt roam up. Oh, now for a gank in the mid lane. Golden Glue gonna get slowed down. There's a concussive blow stun gonna land from the Silas chain, and that's first blood over to 100 Thieves.
That's a really good roam from 100 Thieves, being able to find that kill in the mid lane, putting the Akali down, and best of all, having the kill going over to Soligo. First time we see Soligo find himself a lead in this series against Golden Glue.
Keeps Bees back in.
What can he do with it?
Right now, he's just trying to clear the waves. Soligo continuing to play up and aggressive and try and push the waves in. And finds his blue buff, gonna get the Spire, and now Blabber knows he's there. But he's only level 2. Anda still has double buffs here. And with Someday and Golden Blue, Someday pushing in and Golden Blue getting pushed in, excuse me. Blabber can't really do too much here.
Oh, he committed that
Tag.
flag.
Anda finds the stun. Kumo flash down into the wall. And a no flash. That's gonna be a kill. Too far forward there for the 100 Thieves jungler. And now Someday maybe the next target. Here comes Soligo. Over the wall, Kuma gonna try and make it happen. Blabber low dead. Soligo able to get that kill. Now Golden Glue, we're gonna make something happen. Kuma there with another great wall stun. Flip kick back in, but the triumph there from Someday maybe gonna keep him alive. And now Golden Glue, we're gonna go down again. It's 100 Thieves that have the aggression. They'll find the kill as they look to take out Golden Glue again.
Wait, are they gonna stick and try to get another one? No, they're not. They're gonna leave, but the early skirmish power, we were wondering, what can Soligo do with this lead? A heck of a whole lot. Now 3-0-1, a 300 gold bounty on him. And we're gonna see how this played out, because I think that, and I mean, even I didn't actually consider the fact that the Poppy and Skarner were gonna be this strong. Remember, Jarvan does not have flash, and he can't even Q back. He walks back thinking, I can Q back to this, but the Poppy W does such a good job in keeping him there. But Soligo is first to mid. Having Fryo in the mid lane allows him to get in there. And we're cutting back to another kill.
Yeah, goodbye Blabber. Kill number 4 now for Soligo, involved in all of them.
What keeps happening to Skarners in the red side river? Yesterday, the same thing.
The river is cursed. Golden Glue flips out of there. Has no business tussling with Soligo right now. Already has a Hextech Revolver done as Ander and Kumo are going to do battle. But again, it's Silas with that early pressure thanks to the lead.
That is a big pain for Golden Glue, having to deal with double buffs. And a pretty big item advantage on the mid lane, too.
He's 1,000 gold down in the 1v1 thanks to all those kills. In fact, it's probably a little bit larger now because I only checked before he picked up kill number 4. And again, Sunday's pressuring in. There's just all this freedom now for Ander to play to the top half of the map.
It's big in the top lane, too, because you've got a sizable, actually a huge CS lead between Someday and Kumo now, who is just barely creeping on 20 CS, and he's already doubled that.
And this was, you know, a counter pick for Cloud9. It's not that I think they expected it to hard smash the lane or anything. That's not what you're picking Poppy for, but I don't think you expected to be down 25 CS either.
They knew they were going to lose it. We saw Lorlo play this matchup as well, knowing that, okay, I'm going to lose to Sunday's Renekton, but I'll be able to help the team later on. And look at that. That's the shield-breaking aspect that Poppy now has.
Or at least in the bottom lane. There's pressure for Deathly and Diamond. Here comes Blabber, going to try and capitalize on some of that. Does see Ander with the Scryer's Bloom, but Soligo continuing to stay active in this game.
He has to. It makes no sense for the mid laner with 4 kills to not be able to find a way to snowball the game further.
Kumo just waiting to see us to come to him. Someday just going to stun him right in front of the wave. Conqueror procced and Kumo forced back behind his turret. Someday may be able to dive here. He's level 6.
He's so close. He just does not want to get wall stunned if he goes for it.
Kumo's almost 6 as well. That 1 minute I think will take him over the edge. No, actually not enough. Someday though, not taking the riskier route. Just happy to pressure and hold on to this now 30 CS lead he has.
So let's see now.
Oh my
wow.
God, that's a pro.
Oh god. Oh yeah. Whew. Yeah, that's a very fed Silas.
1,400 gold ahead now.
Proto
Soligo.
Belt to Vamp Scepter. Oh no. Not even a Vamp Scepter.
2 swords in a book. Golden Glue is gonna have to chill out for a while here in this lane. It's Soligo kind of looking to assert some dominance for the first time, at least in a while. Kind of felt like a solid supporting member in the earlier series, but can really be a legitimate carry in this game.
We'll have to see though. He has to deliver. I feel like he has to deliver so much from the advantage that he has so far. I wouldn't have really thought a whole lot of just 1 kill off that first blood, but now with 4 and this giant lead, this better snowball to some crazy proportion that we've never seen out of 100 Thieves before.
Well, first Infernal Drake is going to help that 100 Thieves get that Drake in under 8 minutes. Cloud9 has had great Drake control all series long, even in their Game 1 loss. But pretty impossible to defend. At this point, Diamond back onto Prism will get some decent poke down. Again, nice that they're playing aggressive. They're the only real section of Cloud9 right now that have a tangible lead. Someday they're backing onto Kumo. Just gonna make him pay. And Kumo puts the shield up. Someday keeps going, holding onto their ultis on both sides, but Someday just cannot lose these trades.
The second he procs that Conqueror, it is a nightmare for Poppy to deal with. Now let's see, we got Blabber close to hitting level 6. That is when Cloud9 really begins to come online and having playmaking available to them. It's happened now. He's got Predator boots, he has Flash. But where is he going to choose to spend his time? It looks like bottom lane is his first place. He's already getting shoot out. They have an eye for spotting arachnids in the bottom lane.
And makes sense, it's kind of the only place that Blabber can go. He's going to go for the dive now, though. Pops to Predator, goes in with the Sivir ulti. Prism will going to be the target, chummed up by Diamond. Easy kill there for Deathly.
Didn't even need the Skarner ultimate, and on the top side, Someday does not have Jarvan to help him out, so there's not going to be a trade kill or any traded advantage for 100 Thieves.
Grass proccing there for Kumo. Happy to fight here. Someday kind of proxying after that little tower dive. No, neither ulti committed though. I feel like Someday was trying to bait that out, but Kumo holds firm with his Keeper's Verdict. I mean, Kumo's not in a good spot. Ooh, good dash there from Diamond.
A fancy feat.
On a ward, but looks like he'll make it back safely on his own. Golden Blue also going to take a recall as Soligo returns to lane with Sork Shoes to join that proto belt.
Skarner still has his Flash, so a play is still available. Those are really the ones that will get this team back on track. Bottom lane proves to be a pretty easy place to go to, as so much action had happened in the top side that you completely isolated the bottom laners, and it really let Deathly and Diamond build a bit of a CS lead here, start out pressuring, take advantage of the early mana purchases that Ezreal goes for, sacrificing early power for that later stage, but Sivir's just punishing it right away.
Yeah, not as big as the lead that Someday has, but still good work by Cloud9 Academy there in the bottom half of the map. So let's see how they can carry that Sivir through the mid game and see if Blabber does indeed go back there or perhaps get aggressive somewhere else. And are also ready with his ultimate, has his Cinderhawk finished up.
The big thing they need to do for Soligo here is secure vision around mid lane so that he can shove the wave and then rotate to the side lanes. At the very least, he should be going into Fog of War constantly to help out his laners, to make the opposing team think, okay, maybe the Sylas is drumming. That's what he is doing, right? He pushes, goes to the brush, waits, but maybe going for a tower dive or looking for a nice ultimate to steal would be a pretty cool play, right? You go to the bottom lane, maybe you steal the quickness, and you can really pull off a dive that way. I mean, there's a ginormous item discrepancy here that is not being utilized for more than just laning.
Yeah, it feels like wherever Ander goes on the top side, Soligo is so powerful that it really isn't contestable. And I think this is a good use of that pressure. Riftchild being taken there. But Ander going to move it top side and make Someday's lead even bigger. He already has the Black Cleaver finish.
So close. Kumo actually used his ultimate to try to get the Poppy to cancel the Herald. But now without that ultimate, maybe this is the signal that Someday needs to give him the confidence to go for a tower dive on the tier 2.
I mean, that's just a ridiculous amount of gold ahead for Someday as well. About 50 CS. Kumo does not get the ground there. Dashes back in, but Shelly's going to get even more damage done. Kumo's going to try and do what he can, hit the eye and take down the Rift Herald, but Someday just has complete dominion over the top lane right now.
It's so weird that he doesn't have a bounty on him. He's a huge amount of CS up, more play, first tower, but still no bounty. Whereas Soligo, like, we get why he has them, but they're even in CS, and I'm just confused.
Not sure either.
Right? Like, I feel like this would be the exact situation where a bounty would be necessary.
You're almost 2,500 gold ahead. So I'm gonna
Right?
agree with you.
That's a lot.
Well, bottom lane's also doing well. They've almost taken out the tower. They may be able to get all 5 plates as well, so we'll continue to monitor how that's looking. But Blabber really not being able to have any more influence, although Predator is coming back off cooldown. Still hasn't used the ulti. Didn't need it in the first bottom lane dive.
There hasn't been any influence from mid lane either. Golden Glue's laning just fine, not dying to the crazy lead that Soligo had, and that's a worrying sign for 100 Thieves here. If they have not been able to get a lot out of that early pressure and let Cloud9 continue to survive and engage. Beautiful knockup.
Yeah, perfect combo there, and the Ignite is going to be enough. Diamond able to get the kill and throws in a little taunt for good measure.
Yeah, completely styled on, absolutely. And now they're going to be able to go and secure plates in the bottom lane, take down that bot lane tower, and more leads continue to happen in the bottom lane for C9. I believe this is what Blabber was talking about, hoping that their bottom lane would do so much.
4 in the mid now. Here's Blabber TP in as well. Impale! Right onto and into the wall slam. Beautifully played by Cloud9.
And he actually draws tower aggro from having the Cinder Hulk on him. Being able to kind of burn your opponents ends up backfiring, but a really nice pull from Blabber, knowing that the Jarvan was not going to get away from that.
And they got the bottom outer turret. Essence Reaver and BF now up for deathly. Soligo does steal a Kali ulti. Looks like 100 Thieves will stick around to try and get this next Drake, as Blabber on a control ward will finish that off. The Thieves are still applying pressure here, but Cloud9 turn that they're ready to try and go in for it. Stun lands onto the front line. That's the Braum getting knocked around. TP in now. Stun into stasis. Someday cleaning up Blabber. Just too much damage to Soligo. That's the ulti rip as well. They're going to get the next kill. Maybe going to follow through onto deathly. Soligo wants it. Wants to try and get all the kills. He finds it. The double kill off the chain ignition. And 100 Thieves continue to apply the pressure.
100 Thieves took the fight of their lives there, and Cloud9 needed to recognize that they cannot fight against Soligo. Yes, he did not roam, he did not out-pressure, but he still has a ginormous item lead, and so does Renekton. This is exactly the two carries that want to be fighting right now for 100 Thieves. So maybe there is a man advantage here, but the itemization and the levels are just so in the favor of 100 Thieves. And this is a really nice dive at the very end, really stylish by him.
Yeah, I mean, Soligo involved in all 10 kills, 6-0 and 4, has almost 2,000 gold to go and spend.
They need to, C9 needs to be avoiding the Sylas and Renekton like the plague here. They are so strong. The item discrepancy is too big, and I think he's gonna have his Lich Bane completed now.
Yep.
Yeah, jeez.
15.5 minutes, 2 items plus the Soak Shoes for Sylas. This is Soligo's game to really shine, if he hasn't done so already. Cloud9 Academy going to be in a position that they're not that familiar with.
I mean, I don't think anybody's, this is a scrim position. This is, like, you lost a scrim early on really hard, but this is the time where the teams that refuse to surrender games and learn to come back from these positions really shine. So we'll see what Cloud9 has prepared here when it comes to clawing back, because the gold is not insurmountable by any stretch of the imagination. It's only about 5,000.
Not reasonable, but certainly still within distance. Definitely going to have to do a lot of work building up towards his 3 items here. He's almost got that call cash in. Golden Glue going to get stunned up, but a nice shuriken flip. Here's Blabber going to try and shut down the Sylas. He's worth a lot of gold. Diamond in again with a charm. Soligo low, but still not dead. Steals his ulti. Does get shut down by Blabber, but Golden Glue going to be caught out as Someday TP's in to finish off that kill.
And a 1-for-3 trade, 400 Thieves. They were so quick to back Soligo up. That was a really good look for C9, but the fact that 100 Thieves was ready to respond makes it worth their while. Now getting another tower. C9 can't answer with anything else, as you've got Prismal soon to cover the top lane tower.
And there's the bounty you're asking for Someday, now with 700 bonus gold.
That makes sense.
So watch this one again.
I mean, there's so much damage there for him, but the Kingslayer buys a little bit of time, and then everybody else is in there. I like that. And there's just, you know, screw it. I'll flash in. I'll help everybody else out.
Also, Stun's exhaust has been great each time he's taken it. Made that kill take so much longer for that Akali with only the Gunblade. And this is 100 Thieves I feel like I haven't seen before this split. They're so aggressive in this game.
We've never seen such a big lead in the mid lane before for this team. I mean, this is a crazy lead. I don't think Soligo's ever played a game. You rarely play games where you're this far ahead from your opponent. I mean, just once a year maybe you get a game like this. So knowing how to accelerate the game is something that you usually just have to go off of this specific game because you've never had a blueprint for how to do it. Typically, it's just get as many objectives as possible, and now we have a fight starting where they caught out Braum. Not really a fight.
And the CC in stunt just dead to rights. Cloud9 Academy continue to find picks, but they have bigger issues between Saligo's strength and Someday powering down the side lanes with 2 items. Cloud9 Academy have to commit so many resources to stop any of the current threats.
Lost in rotation is stunned, but 100 Thieves is still strong enough to remain at their lanes, pushing away. Let's see if Saligo secures this from here. Yep.
Yeah, Kuma tries, he's like, ha! Take shield, and Saligo's like, yeah, not worried about it. No MR either right now for Kuma, has all armor for this Renekton. It's Golden Glue just gunblade Someday to try and keep him away from the tower. Blabber with an impale!
That hurts.
That really sucks.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be so fast with the flash for Blabber. You flash and have to simultaneously click the R, but then it's a blink, not a dash. A lot harder to catch the Ezreal than it is for the Jarvan.
Yeah, that was, I feel like he got out of vision in the cast time or something.
So
I do not know enough about Skarner
that
to
exact
figure
same
that
thing
out.
happened to me yesterday, actually. I was playing Skarner, flashing on Ezreal, and I don't think that it's a matter of vision. I really think it's the fact that he's just so fast in his arcane shift that you can't catch him that easily.
Well, whatever it was, Blabber, who was in a prime position to maybe find a pick, does not grab Prismal, who, despite the 2 deaths, is maintaining his slipperiness here on Ezreal.
It's a really big deal, though, because he committed the flash, too, so now you're going to have to wait a whole lot of time to be able to make that play again. And now he gets caught out. He does not have flash.
Oh, Saligo looking for another kill, trying to keep the KP up. That one goes over to Prismal. Bit of a donation there to the bot lane.
Ooh, revenge, a slap on the face after failing the kill on the Ezreal. Now 100 Thieves feels confident enough to go for this. There is no threat of a steal, no sealed spellbooks to switch to Smite. It's gonna be their Baron, but Cloud9 looking to respond with an Elder of their own. At least it's a pretty valuable tool for them, having the Akali and the Sivir.
I think it's correct just to not try and fight because you cannot at this stage for the Baron. So it will be a trade, but it's not one that Cloud9 can be all that happy with as Golden Blue's back gets cancelled by the True Shot Barrage. But a quick pick and a 20-minute Baron for 100 Thieves as Someday adds insult to injury by taking down the mid-tier 2. This is an unbelievable showing from the Thieves here in the early game.
Just a crazy pace out of them, and they got so far ahead that now they're able to pay the Skarner attacks. And Skarner hasn't even done a whole lot this game. There's nobody else to pick. You're only looking at Anda, who, yes, he didn't pay the Skarner attacks with the QSS, but he found a way to stall it out with the Stone Plate. So there are ways to go around it, and Braum is really not the guy that you want to be ulting. So this puts C9 in a position that they need to be super creative in how they come around these fights. I think just trying to stall out with Sivir and hope that 100 Thieves goes for a dive that they mess up.
I mean, this was the 100 Thieves MO in their last series, you know, holding out in games, playing long late games. A very different look here. They're just dominating pretty much since that first jungle skirmish when Saligo got all those kills. And now Cloud9 are finding themselves struggling to hold on versus a heavily tempo increased 100 Thieves. I mean, this is a speed I've literally never seen them play at before.
Yeah, well, at least not in every other role, right? You see it kind of accelerated from Someday, but everybody else at the same time is such a new look for 100 Thieves. Now 1-3-1-ing the Ezreal with QSS. Who do you even engage on from C9? They're looking at the mid lane, hoping to maybe catch out Stunt and Prismal as the squishier members and the least likely to turn and trade kills.
Still a minute 40 for this Baron. 100 Thieves looking to push in every single lane and try and do maximum damage early on to these structures. They're going to collapse 4 now for this bottom inhibitor turret, but don't have enough to finish it off. Saligo, though, doing work on the top half. They get about the same amount of damage done to the tower in both top and bottom. Cloud9 are being pulled apart right now.
Slowly but surely, 100 Thieves getting damage on the turrets, and they also have the Lich Bane on the Silas. You can't forget about that. That makes the split pushing even stronger. Here comes the next wave crash. Let's see if 100 Thieves gets a little bit more turret damage or if C9 holds them off.
Saligo wants to get in there, but Kumo defending. Gonna lose his ulti now though, as they might try and kick them out of mid. Need to wait for a wave, still 45 seconds on this Baron buff.
The Sivir wave clear is so strong, and unlike the laning phase where Stunt can just put himself in front of the wave and block it, if he were to do that, he'd be exposing himself to getting pulled by Blabber, and the fight would start not on their terms. But it might just be the time for 100 Thieves to pull the trigger and look for a play here, because the Baron is going to run off soon.
Yeah, Someday just
Blue
forces
team's turret.
his will onto Golden Glue, and that's enough to force the Shroud and poke him away back to base. So 100 Thieves open up the bottom half of the map. Saligo still in mid lane, doing what he can there, but that inhibitor will fall.
Inhibitor has been destroyed.
100 Thieves do the damage in bot lane.
It's a nice rotation from mid to bottom. Most importantly, dodging out of Sivir, get out of the wave clear lane. That maximizes the damage, and look at the Renekton's itemization now. Having the Mercurial Scimitar completed, about to have that GA. You might start to see this Renekton be banned out, because at first it didn't seem like such a big deal, but now, whew, I mean, this is the strongest we've seen Someday in a while.
And it's interesting because Kumo seemed fine in the other two matchups he played, but for whatever reason,
That early game,
this one just did not go well.
that was a disastrous early game for C9, but I think the biggest one was the fact that they took that fight in mid once Renekton had his items and once Silas had his items, because it really looked like Saligo was not going to be able to find a way to roam and pressure with that lead. So it was contained in the mid lane. Golden Glue was laning fine. Yes, Someday was winning top, but that's what you kind of expect. And once they took that and got aced for just one member, it was all downhill from there.
Well, I believe 100 Thieves would give us our first sub 30-minute game of the series if they can close things out in the next 5 minutes. We've had some fairly long affairs thus far in the series, but of all the teams, I did not expect 100 Thieves to be the one potentially closing out the fastest one yet. Gonna fall back to the Infernal Drake though, as it's up in a few seconds.
They're super prepared. They were ready to take the fights, and now they're going to secure the second Infernal of the game. They are in prime position to take us to match point here.
Baron up in 45 seconds, can go back, spend your gold, and then do all the prep work for that objective. And being now 9,000 gold behind for Cloud9, getting dangerously close to that 10k deficit.
It's really going to be exclusively up to Deathly. Golden Glue, yes, he's got that Gunblade Morelos, but it's going to be really tough for him to catch out Prismal and Saligo here. They already have armor and MR, respectively, with the QSS taxes, so it gets really, really tricky, because as long as 100 Thieves keeps Deathly at bay, the damage is going to be non-existent for C9.
5 seconds now to Baron spawns. 100 Thieves just regrouping back together. They'll steal the blue buff on the way out. Saligo will collect that one for himself, and they'll start the Baron instantly. No reason to wait. And looks like Cloud9 know they're just going to have to give it up. No one's getting in there anyway.
Blabber does have flash, and so does Diamond. The engage tools for C9 are up, but 100 Thieves do have plenty of answers. All QSSs, everyone's got them. Here comes what could be the final push of the game.
Cloud9 going to have to pull something pretty spectacular out of this one. Thieves trying to prep the waves, looking to try and let them meet it around the same time. Definitely, again, still good at clearing these out when he's left alone.
They're looking for the 1-3. Look at Silas down there. He's off there pushing on his own, trying to make sure that you're crashing multiple waves, and that's how you deal with the wave clear. So the Sivir is really what's being super pesky. 100 Thieves has not shown that they're willing to go for this tower dive, trying to play it as safe as possible. Might come back to bite them later, but for now, it's still continuing to work. Waves have crashed.
Lava also popped Predator, so maybe Cloud9 were thinking they would try and find a pick there, but running out of opportunities to really take it on the Cloud9 Academy side. This is tough. 100 Thieves is doing a nice job of not giving them anything to really go for. I mean, Someday is 1v2 damaging the tower. He's just so tanky at this point that it doesn't matter.
This Sivir is just being so annoying. I really think that this might be the time. Finally, the mid lane turret breaks. Someday is joining. We have our first 5v5 standoff in the mid.
We'll look to break this second inhibitor here. Kumo does find a stun onto Someday, but just delaying him from getting in the fight, if nothing else.
Jeez, I mean, 100 Thieves is so... They're really just not looking to make any errors here, but it might be a little bit too slow. You saw how quickly they were able to win a fight when it was Soligo and Someday joining in, but now slowly but surely they'll crack the second inhibitor, rotating to the top. Playing macro, no micro.
And I wonder if Cloud9 decide to fight now, although I think they've missed their timing window with Golden Glue forced to go bot lane from the supers. They'll break that open. Cloud9 now they have to go, but it's looking a little bit desperate. Golden Glue trying to chase down Soligo. We're going to have a battle on the top half, but for now, watch the left-hand side of your screen. It looks like 100 Thieves absolutely taking that team fight by storm. But Soligo looks to solo it on Golden Glue, and with his individual 1v1, Someday powering forward, finds himself a double kill. Triumph Fields coming out. Golden Glue forced to flip away. 100 Thieves going to make it look so good this game. We're going to end it in under 30 with almost an ace on Cloud9 Academy, and they will be one game away from giving themselves their first ever finals appearance in Academy.
Wow, what a game by this team. We saw how quickly they were able to dive at the very end. They were so strong, just waiting for C9 to engage on them. The second they do, they were right there, ready to respond, and the fight wasn't even close. It was completely one-sided. Cloud9's got a lot of thinking to do now, because this is the team that they chose. They had the first pick. They could have chosen whichever team that won the last match. They could have gone with, I believe it was...
Could have chosen TSM?
TSM, but to be fair, I don't think they knew back then that it was going to be the TSM that
no one could know.
Rig and Acadian.
I don't know if TSM knew.
Yeah, all right. How can you know what even they didn't know? But backs against the wall now. 100 Thieves playing really well. Completely different team than what we saw against Echo Fox.
Yeah, we've seen, like, even, again, the loss they suffered in Game 2, that was a really, like, solid game where they dragged it out, were able to actually keep themselves in the game long enough to possibly win. Game 1 was, like, maybe the more scaling, like, slower 100 Thieves that we expected that had really solid team fighting. This is just a demolition, right? Which is not something we've seen from 100 Thieves. So I feel like we've seen multiple different looks from this team, which is impressive because we kind of expect them to be one note with Someday, and they've just played more and more as the playoffs have gone on.
Yeah, that's what we heard from Anda. It felt like the rest of the team is stepping up. We saw it here, and it doesn't matter that much that they weren't able to snowball as well as they could have. They really did a great job in sealing the deal at the end of the game, a sub 30-minute game. And best of all, the aggression to back up Anda early on, rallying around your jungler, knowing that this guy got MVP last series. Maybe I should follow him a little bit more. He seems to know what he's doing, and it definitely paid off.
Well, we'll look at what following Anda can do for your replay now as Someday and Soligo secure a very early lead in the jungle.
And this is after Skarner struggled to farm to level 3, so he's out there fighting, and they catch Anda out. This is a really nice catch, but when you look at the commitment for just one member, and you realize, wait a minute, there's so much more to why Anda was here, because both the top and mid of 100 Thieves had priority. This is what we look for when junglers go for invade. Does your lane have a priority? It was a yes for both top and mid, and the result is that they collapse faster, they make it there to the play, and then Soligo gets double buffs and ends up, after this play, 3-0-1 in the laning phase. He had a 7-minute proto belt.
Yeah.
15 minutes, he had Proto Belt, Lichbane, and Sork Shoes, whereas Golden Glue was just barely finishing his Gunblade.
Well, we were saying their names all game long, but this time it's Someday and Soligo combining for an ace on Cloud9 Academy.
And this is a 3v4. You look at 100 Thieves and you think they're cut out, but then the strongest members are here. A very nice True Shot barrage to assist from downtown, but the work was all done by Renekton and the Silas. They had 2 items completed at this stage in the game. Not a single item was done by C9. So even though they did make the correct move in assessing that they had a numbers advantage, the great item discrepancy was too much to overcome, especially for two champions that are so strong in the mid game.
That dive, so slick by Saligo. I think that's the mark of a very confident player, but that man on your screen right there also had his highlights in this game. We'll take a look now at the Someday triple kill that ended the game.
And it is Cloud9 that engages here after losing 2 inhibitors. They're looking, they're desperate. They've got Blabber. He's going to flash in, looking to catch somebody. But you go after the Jarvan. There's really not a whole lot that you're going to be able to accomplish there. And it's only Deathly that is a damage dealer here. So when he has to go and auto the Renekton first, it never feels good. And this is why, because he's so fed and he can do that to you.
He lived. He had GA, so it didn't even matter if he died.
He had stopwatch
but
too.
he still didn't die. Top damage as well. Someday is unreal good. As 100 Thieves make quick work of Cloud9 in game number 3.
I mean, at the end of the Academy season, there's going to be a plaque for Someday in the top lane because of just how well this player has been performing ever since he joined the Academy team.
And no one is surprised that Someday is this
We're just
good.
surprised that he's here.
Yeah, that's true. But I think the rest of the team also stepping up needs to be restated. Someday is an amazing player, and he's making that known here in Academy. But the rest of the Thieves like, okay, you know what? We're going to look up to this guy. We're going to try and play with him and play as a coherent unit. And they've just gotten better and better as the season's gone on. They somehow got better in playoffs.
Yeah, I think you need to start banning the Renekton out to make sure that this doesn't happen again, though, because Aatrox and Renekton are obviously the 2 carries that he's used the most. And beyond that, the list does kind of fall off into these really strong bruisers that are hard to take down because he's not running these hyper carries. He's running bruisers that are really beefy and allow a lot of space to be created for Prismal and Saligo to really shine in these fights.
Well, Cloud9 going to have to go back to the drawing board because it is do or die time for C9. 100 Thieves are just 1 win away from advancing to the finals of Academy World. Stay tuned for Game 4 right after the break. Over the wall, Kuma going to try and make it happen. Blabber low dead. Saligo able to get that kill. Now Golden Glue, we're going to make something happen. Kuma there with another great wall stun. Flip kick back in, but the triumph there from Someday maybe going to keep him alive. And now Golden Glue, we're going to go down again. It's 100 Thieves that have the aggression. They'll find the kill as they look to take out Golden Glue again. Someday cleaning up Blabber, just too much damage to Saligo. That's the ulti rip as well. They're going to get the next kill, maybe going to follow through onto Deathly. Saligo wants to try and get all the kills. He finds it. The double kill off the chain ignition.
I can't move, I'm just gonna keep pushing. ADSTP can
I was kinda.
Nice.
Akali.
Okay, we got him.
Yeah, I got it.
Good job. Okay, that's your man.
Someday powering forward, finds himself a double kill. Triumph Fields coming out. Golden Glue forced to flip away. 100 Thieves gonna make it look so good this game. We're gonna end it in under 30 with almost an ace on Cloud9 Academy.